Good evening, humans. Tyrannosaurusmoth here, and tonight we're taking a look at the WWE Legends Elite Collection, the Undertaker figure. This is one that I had some issues getting, mostly because I had a pre-order with Target, and they delayed it about 3 times and then canceled it, which I hear is kind of a common story lately, which is super obnoxious. But I did happen to find this in one of my local Targets, so all's well that ends well, I suppose. But I don't really trust Target for pre-orders at this point. But aside from that, The Undertaker as a character has had a huge impact on my creative life and influenced a lot of things that I have done creatively. Especially just all the Undertaker's ring entrances. I mean, that music that plays is still, it just still gets me incredibly pumped. So especially this era of the Undertaker just means a lot to me, so it's really cool to have this in figure form, especially with all the accessories they put with him. So I thought this was really cool. So that being said, let's get into this review. Let's do this. Jumping right in with aesthetics, and The Undertaker looks pretty good. Mattel has come a far way from the early 2000s with the WWE figures, and I mean, the technology has definitely advanced, though a lot of the articulation's relatively the same. I mean, I haven't had a ton of Mattel WWE figures over the years. I was more into the really old school Hasbro stuff back in the day, and then kind of fizzled out with time. But this looks pretty decent. Proportions are what you would expect from Mattel. So the legs seem a little long to me anyway. I'll adjust this a little bit. And obviously all the figures are super slim in their build, regardless of which wrestler it is. But certainly the likeness in the face is actually really nice on this one. These 3 strings or 3, 4, 5 strings of hair in the front are a little obnoxious occasionally. I mean, you could cut those off without any issue, I think, and it'd still be cool. This works a little bit better with the mask that they give you. More on that in accessories. But other than that, really solid looking figure. I mean, it looks great on a shelf, and as you saw in the intro, it looks pretty good with the jacket on. So definitely a decent looking figure, especially for Mattel. Great job on their behalf. Jumping right into accessories, being part of the Elite Collection from Mattel, you get a decent amount of ring gear with the Undertaker here, and so as you saw, biggest piece is you definitely get his jacket, and it is soft goods. It's not perfect by any means, but it definitely is effective. I mean, it looks a lot better than I thought it was going to look when I saw it in the package, and seeing kind of some of the shots, it definitely looks a lot more legit on the shelf than you would expect it to, especially because as you can see here, there's no cuffs or anything. It's pretty basic, but very effective, so really good job there. You also get his tie, which just has a rubber band, goes around the head. Then you get his signature hat, which works really well, fits super snug on the head too. And then you get the kind of Phantom of the Opera-esque mask that he had when he broke his orbital bone. So that's really cool. That's an awesome addition. I don't know if any other Undertaker figures have included that. Let me know in the comments if you know, because like I said, I was kind of out of the loop for a little bit. And then we get 2 sets of hands. Right out of the box, we get the Rest in Peace hands, one left and one right. Oh, excuse me, I just knocked my camera. And then you get 2 kind of grippy, grappling, whatever you want to call it, hands. I'm sorry if a lot of this is kind of mixing in with my background, because as you can tell, this color of purple kind of influenced me, and I guess this is the greatest showing of that. So yeah, that's his accessories. Moving right on into articulation, we got a bit of a mixed bag here, but overall it's pretty good. So for the head, we're on a ball joint. However, with the sculpt of the hair, and because the hair is plastic, we're not going to get much range. So not too much up, not too much down, not really too much tilt, a little bit. but you know, it moves freely if you're actively posing it, but yeah, in most other cases, like, you're not going to get too much. So that is what it is. Arms come up, you can get your T-pose. You have your bicep swivel. And for elbows, they are single jointed, so you get about 90 degrees on the right. On the left, you have the elbow pad, which, while it does move and is soft plastic, it really hinders the articulation. So you might want to cut a slit into the plastic. It's probably going to make it tear further, so kind of use your own judgment there. And then for the hands, we have swivel and hinge. Actually get that in focus. So our hinge, our swivel. Then we move on to the ab crunch, and not really much. Same for back, just like not a lot of mobility because of that sculpt and just the way they cut it. So that is what it is. We get swivel at the waist. We get really good splits. Not unexpected, but there you go. We get our thigh cut. We get double jointed knees with some decent range. You get a nice V there. You get a boot cut, so you can move there. And then the feet, they have forward and back, but because of the boot covers, you really don't get much of anything. So you can see it again, you can move it if you're actively posing it, but that doesn't help for pictures or posing on your shelf. So that is what it is, and that is articulation. Rounding things out with some size comparisons, here's the Undertaker with a bunch of other wrestling figures. Here he is with some random Hasbro stuff. Here he is with some Storm collectibles and some SH Figuarts. Here he is with various monsters and villains. And finally, here he is with an Articulated Icons Oni and yours truly as an Articulated Icons Ninja. So my final thoughts on the WWE Legends Elite Collection Undertaker, really solid figure. The wrestling figures are kind of their own sort of thing, and so they have their own set of standards, which I'm not saying to knock wrestling figures, I'm just saying that they're different from, say, comic action figures or something like that. So for me, the rating scale is a little bit different for these in particular. So I would just say this is a really solid outing. Definitely Mattel has made some vast improvements from like the previous decade and such, so like really happy to see it. I am totally happy to have this. This is definitely a like pinnacle Undertaker figure for me. I would like to search down, I know they did one of his first appearance, so when he was wearing the gray accents on the kind of dead man getup. So I'll hunt one of those down eventually, and the one I want the most is the like Ghostbusters see-through or translucent purple one. So that I think is like the absolute pinnacle for me for an Undertaker figure. But this one is a great one to have, and I definitely recommend picking it up if you can find it. They have been showing up more and more in the Targets around me, so it should be easy to find. If I can find a link online, I don't know if Target even still has it on their website, but if they do, I will put it in the description below. And with that being said, thank you so much for joining me for this review. I hope you found it informative and that you enjoyed it. And if you did, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing, and sharing it. And if you want to take it a step further, I will have ways to further support the channel in the description as well. And yeah, with that being said, hopefully I will see you in the next video. So please be kind to yourself, be kind to those around you, and most importantly, stay weird, simians.